What's good, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 29. Lord, when is this going to be over? Jesus the Christ. Lord, Jesus. Anywho, this week's episode was pretty good. It was good. Let's start off with Yandy and Rashida. They sat down and had a discussion about what's been going on between them with them getting into it over they cheating lying ass husbands and blaming each other instead of blaming the men that keep on effing them over. But whatever, to each his own. Once again, Rashida was being very defensive, very flippant, trying to act like she was so unbothered and like, why am I here? Yandy was better than me, child, because the energy that Rashida came with, girl, as soon as she got to talking, I would have been like, nope, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm so good. And with her acting that way, it's so obvious that she's guilty. That's why she's responding the way that she is, because she knows that she was in the wrong. But at the end of the day, y'all need to be focusing that type of energy towards y'all's husbands. But as far as Mandisi's cheating and this alleged video and all of this stuff, child, I don't know. If the man is cheating, hell, Yandy ain't going nowhere. Obviously, she fighting for her love, she fighting for her family, she fighting for her rights. So to each its own, honey. If they like it, I love it. Love it. But I didn't like that Rashida kept on kind of being shady, like in the confessionals when the producer asked her, has she seen this video of Mandisi's or whatever? And she was like, no comment or whatever the case. And I'm like, you didn't even have to say all of that. Like, if you wasn't gonna never bring it up, if you wasn't gonna never talk to her about it, then why all of a sudden you taking these little shots in your confessional? I hope after watching this, Yandy see what it is between them and that Rashida don't really care or fuck with her for real. But I mean, Rashida don't fuck with her damn self at the end of the day. But yeah, as far as any type of friendship, you would never have to worry about me if I was Yandy when it comes to Rashida. Cause like, no way you think you about to play up in my face. Like, you can't trust no chick that walk around looking like a 50-year-old Lil Bow Wow. Like, girl, skedaddle, please. Stop. I said my name is Bow Wow. Rashida still dressed like she is in junior high school. Like, girl, I can't take you seriously. I mean, maybe she is trying to look that way because Kirk like him young. Did you know when they got together, she was in her teens and he was a grown man? But they like to rewrite history, but whatever. Bambi and Ray. It was giving me like she likes Ray, but he was giving her the ick with his shtick that he was doing, like the drinking and the schmecks talk constantly. You can tell her bringing him on the trip really showed her another side to him that kind of had her being like, I'm glad I didn't have sex with him. Glad I didn't bring him around my kids and all of that type of stuff, which is the smart thing to do, considering the fact they only had been dating at that point a few months. You know what I'm saying? I just want Ray to learn how to talk. He talked like he a fifth grader. He a nice looking dude. I like his style and all of that. He just has horrible dialect. Bambi says to the group that she feels like they rally for Spice more than they do for her. And Carly was like, I 1000% agree. She was like, I'm so happy that somebody else sees what I've been saying this whole time about Spice. And ever since the whole thing went down with this group cast album and the diss records and stuff, Spice and the Bam been going back and forth, taking shots at one another. Like, it has gone so left. I don't think it's gone to the left to the point that it can't be salvaged because they ain't went to HE double hockey sticks with each other yet. But it's basically been like joning pretty much on each other. So it can be salvaged as of right now. Ain't nobody threw hands or nothing, thank God. But the whole thing is just honestly silly and stupid. Amy lied, which contributed to this beef because Amy lied. But I'm like, y'all watching the season and y'all saw that Amy lied about the situation. She did in fact tell Bambi that old girl like kind of talked her into dissing the Bam. So I'm like, why are y'all still fighting each other when y'all should have had smoke for Amy, who then ran off into the sunset with her gay husband? I'm just so confused at why they're still fighting each other. It's so ridiculous to me. I can't wait for next season to see how this whole thing with Jock now doing his own Love and Hip Hop album is gonna fare with Spice, because to be honest with you, Spice didn't do it correctly. I understand that it's a Jamaican thing to put an artist on the same track and have them do it their own way, but Atlanta has a specific sound, and I think with the producers he was speaking of, like Zaytoven and all these dudes or whatever, I think that's a better look, better Atlanta sound, and I think that the cast talents can be utilized better. So I think that Jock might mess around and do a better job than what Spice was trying to do, because Spice was all over the place and it was very messy, and she wasn't taking that like leadership role the way that she was supposed to. And then lastly, let's get into the Scrappy and his new baby mama and Momma Dee debacle. So on a podcast, Momma Dee pulled out a paternity test saying that, the baby needs to get, tested, because let's not pretend that Scrappy and this girl didn't participate in a threesome and she got pregnant. So they didn't even know each other, or they knew each other to an extent because she was on the reality dating show that he was on Now That's TV. So she was on the show, so they knew of each other. Obviously they had been around each other, but still they didn't know each other to trust her saying that I'm pregnant by you. You know what I'm saying? So the baby mom had already said she ain't had no problem taking a paternity test. So did Momma Dee have to bring the paternity test and all that out on an interview? No. But I didn't understand why the girl was so offended by it. Like, girl, like, you slept with him and another friend of yours. Then you went behind the friend back and kept on schmexing him after she left to go pick up her kid to take it to school. And you wonder why people are questioning whether or not that this is man's baby. Like, so, she been saying little slick stuff, here and there, and her mouth is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Now, granted, Momma Dee's mouth is crazy. We have dealt with Momma Dee now for 12 years, and we've seen her go after and attack every woman that Scrappy has been with, but she has not done this with Shakira. She actually started off on the right foot, but Shakira came into the situation on some, you ain't gonna do me like you did everybody else. I'm gonna show you right from day one that I ain't to be played with. And kind of like what Britt Edie is doing over on Atlanta with Kenya. I'm gonna be the one to put you in your place. That's the energy that Shakira is coming with Momma Dee. But Momma Dee wasn't even on what she has been on with Bambi and Erica. You know what I'm saying? She actually came in acting like a human being for once. So when she and Scrappy introduced the baby, who is gorgeous. That little boy is beautiful. Oh my God, he is so beautiful. I just recently saw new videos and photographs of him, and he is just scrumptious. That hair, that beautiful chocolate skin. That baby is beautiful. Okay, to me, he don't look like neither one of them. I don't know who that baby look like, but thank God. But Momma Dee brings up the paternity test, and she was like, yeah, I got something for you. And Shakira pulls out a muzzle, and Momma Dee was like, that ain't gonna fit my mouth. Scrappy was looking like, I know she did not eat. He was so thrown off, like, did she really just pull out a muzzle and give it to my mama? Like, what? So she get to going on and on about how she's been disrespected, and her daughter gotta see this because she has a 16-year-old daughter, and she's been talked about so bad in the public and on social media. Which, granted, that can't feel good to have the whole world coming at you and talking about you. But mama, you have to take responsibility for how you presented yourself to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you can't act like you're a victim when you're a grown woman who made these grown woman decisions, and you weren't worried about what your daughter was going to think about you when you was on Now That's TV showing your ass. And then when you had a threesome with this man, and you weren't thinking about your daughter then. So I'm confused about why all of a sudden now that a DNA test is being asked for, you want to act like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, get out of here, please. Now, I did sympathize with her because, you know, during her pregnancy, her mother passed away from cancer. And Momma Dee, you know, was very sympathetic towards her because Momma Dee's mama actually passed away from cancer as well. And, you know, she feels alone. And I get that. She was like, you know, this is y'all family. You know, this isn't my family. I don't have anybody to have my back. And I get that. And I support that. But the whole thing with the way she was coming at Momma Dee, and then, like I said, having an attitude about being asked for a paternity test was wild to me. And so, you know, Scrappy, he was like, you know, I don't do this. I'm out. So Scrappy left, and she was like, really? He was like, yeah, like, you disrespected my mother. I told you about that. And Momma Dee actually stayed behind and comforted her because she busted out crying or whatever. And I got a story coming for y'all on Shakira and Scrappy and this whole thing, and we're going to talk about it more in depth. And y'all pretty much already know where I'm going to go with this, but it's obvious that she has feelings for him. It's not just a co-parenting, we smash when we smash type of situation. She actually has feelings for this man. And that's a part of the problem, because she wants something that she's not going to get. No, it's not going to happen. He's not going to make her his woman. No. But it's obvious by the way she's been coming on this show that she wants to be on the show. She wants to be in the spotlight. She wants people to talk about her. I mean, hey, she was on Now That's TV, so she wants to be on television. And she's getting what she's asked for, what she wants. And you're going to have to deal with public perception and public opinions. And you're going to have to grow thicker skin, my love. You really are. You really are. So that's my review of this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm going to give this week's episode a B-. It was cute. But I am so ready for this to be wrapped up. It's gone on too long. Like, can we please take a break at this point? My God. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. If you haven't checked out my Brit Edie and my Quad Web expose, they are up right now. Y'all are running those numbers up. Thank you so much. Keep it going. I'm still working on my Heavenly expose, so give me a second on that. But Thank you guys so much for the support on the others. Make sure you check out my Atlanta review from this week, my baddies review, and any other videos that I posted. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.